The Sox are rolling right now. They have won 9 of their last 11 games, including 6 in a row. And now to talk about it, Dan Roche joins me. And Dan, this team has finally put it together on a consistent basis. And yes, this 6-game winning streak has come against the lowly Nats and also the Rockies. But what have you made of this recent stretch for this team?
Well, they did what they needed to do, Joe, right? They found a way to climb back into the playoff race or playoff contention. Alex Cora's been talking about that quite a bit, that they just need to get back within striking distance of a wild card spot. I think now they're tied for that third and final wild card spot. So that's right where you want to be. So that's where you give them credit. And you can say all you want about the teams that they've played, but again, they've had to put up runs. They've had to win. They've hit home runs. They've done everything you want as a baseball team to get back on track from pitching all the way through to the offense. It's been fun to watch. So give them a lot of credit, Joe. Right to this point, where they're at right now as they approach the All-Star break, they're in position to contend in the second half of the season.
And that's a good point. And I want to hit on that a little bit more as we talk about things. Of course, the trade deadline's a couple weeks away, and the fact that they're playing so well right now comes at a perfect time. They do have a gauntlet of opponents coming up with the Rays, and then they'll start off the second half against the Cubs, the Phillies, and then they'll take on the Dodgers and Mookie Betts back at home. But you look at the way that they played recently over this 11-game stretch in which they've gone 9-2. They're averaging 8.7 runs per game. They're also pitching really well. They've got a 2.91 ERA in this stretch. It's been fun, Dan, to see this team finally click, and it's so many different guys having their best stretches of the year.
Yeah, and I like the way, all throughout this, Alex Cora keeps getting questioned as to why you would bench Rafaela coming off a hitting streak when he's on fire. Certain guys being put in the lineup, taken out of the lineup. Anthony and Meyer against lefties, but he's got a good combination working right now, Joe, and that's what you want. Everybody's stepping up. Romy Gonzalez has been one of the best hitters in all of baseball for the last month or so. So, yes, if it's working, if it ain't broke, why fix it, right? That's the kind of the way things look at right now with this lineup. So they're getting it. They look like they have a lineup against left-handers, lineup against right-handers. They're using all that balance. Guys are rested. They're getting the job done, so that's good to see. And then it starts with Garrett Crochet and finally being followed in the rotation by a guy like Lucas Giolito, who certainly has been impressive, and Brian Bayo, who we've been waiting for to step up, has stepped up. So they have 3 potential top-of-the-line, top-of-the-rotation starters to go with the bullpen that has been moving parts in and out. And then it all goes to Roche Chapman, who has been an all-star. He's been as good as they come. And they're getting healthier. They're going to get Alex Bregman back, which is a great sign, especially now, because they're in playoff contention. You have a potential leader there to help out with that. So I think a lot of things have come up good here for the Sox as they get ready to take a few days off for the All-Star break.
Dan, let's stay on the left side of the infield because you brought up Alex Bregman and hopefully he either comes back during this Rays series or possibly right after the All-Star break. But Trevor Story, Dan, was a guy that I think a lot of people in this fan base were done with after the month of May. And in that month, he hit 158 with a 232 slugging percentage. But since June 1st, he is hitting 311. He's got 8 home runs, slugging percentage at 561. You're my perspective guy. Does this remind you of anybody where a guy seemed like he was on the way out and instead has sort of revived himself in his entire career?
Well, we've seen that a lot over the course of baseball, Joe. It's bound to happen. Guys have tough first months, tough Mays, and they respond in June, or vice versa. It's just not easy. I mean, the one guy I think of is David Ortiz, right, who had some really bad Aprils to the point where I saw Mikey Lowell on the NESN broadcast talking about how he had to pinch hit for David Ortiz in the past for him. So to see Story do what he is doing now is tremendous. It's a response of a professional. And remember, he's been hurt, so it took him some time, it looks like, to get where he wanted to be as a hitter with the bat. The good thing, and Alex Cora has pointed this out, is that you've seen a steady defense from him from day one. That's kept him in the lineup, kept him in the game, and now the offense has caught up to that defense, and he's exactly what you need in this lineup to go with all the young kids, and now getting Bregman back too. That left side of the infield should be real good. As long as they stay healthy, should be real good the rest of the way.
Let's talk about the young kids, Dan. Roman Anthony, this guy's been awesome. Last 12 games hitting 392. There's so much hard contact there, Dan, but I know you'd appreciate this aspect of Roman Anthony is just how mature he is as a 21-year-old. He seems built for not only Major League Baseball, but for this market as well. What's impressed you the most about what you've seen from this young 21-year-old?
Well, I think what everybody had been saying about him in the game of baseball, Joe, you and I have seen that from really for the last year or 2 years, that everyone just said he has tremendous poise. He has the look of a franchise type of player. A lot of fans around here, maybe didn't know just how highly thought of and regarded he was in the game of baseball. Just everyone saying that this kid is destined to be a superstar type of player, and he's showing it. And he's got a great demeanor for what you need every day in baseball, where the highs don't get too high and the lows don't get too lows. He's got that young look of a star, right? Like that young Carl Yastrzemski, that young Fred Lynn look, and nothing. He shows no fear. Right-handers, left-handers. He waits. He's very patient. Shows has great control of the strike zone. All things that we've heard about him, and he's now showing it on the big league level, which is exactly what you want to see from him. And again, we talked about it when Rafael Devers was traded. I got yelled at and screamed at for doing some radio interviews or what have you by simply saying, hey, the Red Sox have turned the page, and the face of the franchise going forward now is going to be Roman Anthony. Even if Alex Bregman re-ups, the face of the franchise is Roman Anthony, and we're seeing it now. He's going to struggle, but right now we're seeing that, Joe, and I think that's what everybody talked about in baseball. And it's nice to see him responding real well. Face
of the franchise at 21 years old. He can handle it. And again, he has been awesome already. He's also played pretty good defense, too. And we're going to see him more in left field. Speaking of the outfield, Dan, Masataka Yoshida makes his return. He made his return yesterday. He got 3 hits in that game. I asked him before the game, Dan, about what he missed most about being in the big leagues. And he said it was that nervousness you get before playing in a game. He obviously looked not rusty at all in his return. But how do you think his return now helps the lineup and this entire roster to have him back?
I think it gives him more versatility, right? So again, it allows Alex Cora to do what he's been doing with the right-handers facing right-handed starters, facing left-handed starters, and then once the game advances and if they have lefties coming out of the bullpen, righties coming out of the bullpen, he can mix and match, and we're seeing that from everyone. So you put Yoshida in there maybe as your starting DH against right-handers, and then against left-handers, it's Rob Refsnyder, who he knows eats that kind of thing up. That's your base. You can move guys, Anthony and company, in and out of that position too. But I think what Yoshida does is he steadies that DH position going forward with Rob Refsnyder. That's a good combo to have right there. And then you mix and match everybody else to go with it. Your Romy Gonzalez's, your Abraham Toros, your other bats, and it gives them a lot more balance against left, right, which they've certainly needed over the years. We've talked about that time and time again. So nice to see that.
Yeah, there's so many weapons now in the lineup. I don't even know if we've mentioned Wilyer Abreu yet, who hit a home run yesterday and continues to do damage, especially on breaking balls from right-handed pitchers. So there are a lot of weapons now for Alex Cora to use. Now,
well, let me stop you right there, Joe, because that's one thing I want to just say is I'm not trading Wilyer Abreu, right? Again, everyone's quick to say they needed this, they need a starting pitcher with controllable years. I get it, bullpen help. Wilyer Abreu was a Gold Glove right fielder in one of the more difficult parks to play in, and he's done nothing but hit on the big league level. Yes, he's streaky at times, but isn't that the kind of guy you want to leave there for years to come? Like, that's the kind of guy you want to grow with this group of young players. I would not trade him if I'm, Craig Breslow right now, because I think that he can be a fixture in right field for the next 10 years if you want him to be.
How do you feel about Jarren Durant and also Roche Chapman, Dan? These are two guys that people have discussed as possible trades that the Red Sox could possibly go. They could possibly go that route, even though obviously, again, they're playing some really good baseball right now.
Well, I think what you do if they keep playing the way they're playing, Joe, and there's certainly showing no signs of it, even if they split with Tampa before they get going here in the second half. Like, that's a gut-wrenching pop to this clubhouse, right? That's kind of saying, hey, we got rid of Devers. We all know the reasons, and that's proved to be okay. And now we've given the keys over to all you guys. You've responded. You've gotten yourself back into playoff contention. And then you're going to take away an all-star closer. And then you're going to take away a Jarren Durant. I'm not doing that this year. I wait till the offseason and let everything breathe, see what happens in the second half of baseball, and then figure it out. You know, I'm not sending guys out for prospects and things like that at this time. Now, if somebody like a Joe Ryan, we've seen his name pop up from Minnesota, if there's a deal to be made there, then maybe you consider it, because he's that young, controllable, all-star caliber type of pitcher that you can add to that rotation for years to come. But as far as renting a reliever, renting a starter, I'm not doing that, because I don't think it's fair to Alex Cora, and I don't think it's fair to the entire team for what they've been able to do to get back into this race and put themselves into playoff contention.
Again, a big stretch coming up here for the team with the Rays to close out this first half, and the hope is that this team can close it out strong, because the baseball recently has been really fun to watch, and hopefully the young guys, along with those veteran players like Trevor Story, now Masataka Yoshida, and hopefully Alex Bregman can bolster this group down the stretch here as we get to the trade deadline. Dan, appreciate the time as always. I know you're going to Fenway today. Hope you have fun.
Yeah, always fun, Joe. It's awesome. It's nice to see the back of contention. Life is pretty good. You know, we're getting ready for going back to school. I am with the Patriots training camp. So pretty good. Keep it going. Let's have fun. We need that.
And, of course, coming off a great weekend with Tori, your daughter getting married, too.
Oh,
so,
yes. Thank you very much.
Roche from the
very
family,
surreal.
too.
Now I have nothing to look forward to except grandkids. And who knows when that will be.
Don't pressure him too much. All right. Dan, appreciate the time.